Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Twist Gaming, coming to you live on Twitch from Origins Game Fair 2017 here in Columbus, Ohio. I am your host, Anne, and today I am here with...
Chris from Calliope Games.
Excellent. Chris, can you tell us about what you have here to show us?
Sure. So here at Origins, we're sneak previewing a game that's going to debut at Gen Con in August. This is Dicey Peaks by Scott Alms. He's the one who designed Tiny Epic Kingdoms, Tiny Epic Galaxies, Tiny Epic everything, really. So Dicey Peaks is a mountain climbing game where you're rolling dice and pushing your luck to make it to the top of Yeti Mountain.
Okay.
The problem is it's not just called Yeti Mountain. There are Yetis chasing you up the mountain. So as you roll, you move your little climber up the mountain. I can turn this around. I'm not sure if it's going to pick up so well, but you'll have Yeti Mountain will be built up.
Joshua can get us a good...
There we go. So we can take a look at that up close. But so you'll have the mountain. You can roll the dice and you'll be climbing up and you'll be choosing every turn. Do I want to climb and spend some of my precious oxygen and move my way up the mountain? Or do I want to rest and gain back some of that oxygen?
Okay.
So there's risks to both, because when you're climbing, you are losing oxygen, and you'll uncover areas of the mountain that can cause some hazards to happen.
Very push your luck.
Very push your luck, but a ton of fun. And if you're resting, the Yeti might catch up to you and get you while you're in your tent and just basically, you do some terrible things. You'll be pushing your luck, and as the Yeti is moving, the players who are behind you on the mountain will actually move ahead as the Yeti chases them as well. So the further you push your luck, the more you actually might be helping those other people behind you on the mountain.
Okay.
So you'll move up, you'll flip tiles, you'll reveal abilities and things that do things. Sometimes they help you, they move you ahead, sometimes they knock you back. And at the end, you're going to get to the summit, and there's 3 tiles. When you move up to that level, you've got to choose one of them. You're looking for the fabled red flag atop Yeti Mountain. If you flip a tile and it's blank, your turn is over. Everyone else gets another chance to try to catch up to you.
Oh.
And you've given them some knowledge of which of those 3 has the flag. Yeah, so then when the next person goes, they're like, I'm going to choose this one, and they flip and it's blank, and everyone goes, yes, I get one more chance. And then finally someone's going to get to that 3rd one, and they're going to find that, and they're going to reveal the flag, and they're going to win the game. So it is a fast-playing dice game. It's a push-your-luck game, but there's some strategy involved in when to climb and when to rest. Where should I go? I know that when you reveal these tiles, every time you land on them, they're always going to do the same thing. So I know that that's a hazard, but my dice are going to have me land on it. So I guess all right, I'm going to push my luck and see if I can go just a little bit further, but I'm running low on oxygen, and if I roll too much and I don't have enough oxygen, I'm going to bust that way too. So there's a lot of little choices to make, a lot of really suspenseful, fun moments in the game.
So if the Yeti catches you, is that game over?
If the Yeti catches you, if you're resting, you just bust. That's it. The Yetis in the game are... they're malevolent, they're mean, but they're not like vicious. They're not going to tear you apart limb from limb. They mostly cause you to bust or other people to catch up to you. So while you're climbing, you always set those Yetis aside because they'll be chasing the people behind you. When you're resting and you're putting your head down, getting a little rest, that's when the Yetis can come and they can bust you and they can cause you to end your turn. So they're always a presence. They're always on the dice, and you can't re-roll Yeti results. So they kind of they come out of the dice pool and they sit there and you can't do anything with them. So they're just really jerks. They're like jerk Yetis. I hate those jerk Yetis. So that's kind of how they are in the game. They're always kind of a threat in the background, and they take dice away from you, and they help other people, and they bust you. So
that's cool. So this is a very fast-paced game. It sounds like you're moving.
Yes.
What is the play time on the game?
So you can play this game 2 all the way up to 6 players.
Okay.
And then it'll range a little bit from maybe 15 minutes for a 2-player game up to about maybe 45 minutes or so. I think on the box we say 20 to 50, but it's really like 15. It's less than an hour no matter what.
Okay.
If you're playing with 6 players and you have someone who's really like pulling out their hair like, do I roll the dice? Then, sometimes it could... No, but it could take a little bit longer, but it moves very, very quickly. Once you know exactly what you're doing, it really comes down to those fun decision points. and a lot of times you think it's all luck, rolling dice. But in this case, you can set yourself up well. The other thing I should say is there are 3 types of dice. There's ones that are geared for climbing, ones that are geared for resting, and ones that are kind of right down the middle.
Okay.
So the other thing is at the beginning of your turn, you choose 5 dice from that pool. So you can choose, do I take ones that are good for climbing if I really want to push?
Any ratio of one of those 3 piles?
Yeah, you can take anything you want out of those. So there's 4 of the climbing, there's 4 of the resting, and then there's 5 of the in between.
Okay.
So when you pick your 5, you can kind of pick your own little pool, and that kind of helps you. You're not going to guarantee what's going to happen, but you're going to give yourself better odds. Yes, and then once you roll those 5, that's when you decide, do I climb or rest? Because if you roll something that would bust you if you're climbing, you can switch over after that first roll and say, all right, I'm resting. I'm not going to climb. And then once you've rolled those 5, you can continue to roll 3 dice at a time from the pool. You can keep taking new dice and rolling, so you can push your luck and keep going that way. So it's a super elegant, really fun dice system, and then all of those other things that happen. It's kind of like it tells a wonderful little adventure story every time. And at the end, you have things like, you got me that one turn, or else I would have gotten to the summit first, that kind of thing. So it's a lot of fun.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and we like our art at Calliope Games. We like to bring people in.
I like pretty art.
Yes, and I don't have all of the final stuff. I have a nice little wonderful mock-up of the box. We're in production right now, so I'll have things, like I said, at Gen Con, booth 1901. We'll be selling this game, and you can play it and demo it. But like our rule book that we have here, we made it like a trail kind of thing. So when you open it, watch this. Oh, there's the Yeti right there. Wait. So yeah, you open it up, and the whole thing is like this.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, so it's all written out like this, and all of the tiles have a symbol on them that tells you kind of what they do. So what we did was we tented this thing so you can put it on the table, and it'll show you what all of the different tiles do as you play. See?
Makes me so happy.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear. Everybody should say that. You play Calliope Games, this makes me so happy. I'm going to write that down. You're crying. She's crying. You can't see it.
It's so beautiful.
Just tears streaming. Just it's so beautiful.
It's so nice because so many times you're constantly going back and flipping through the rule book, and so I understand that it's really hard to try and figure out how to make a rule book nice and get a good quick reference guide, and this is a very cool creative way to accomplish both of those things.
Wonderful. That's exactly what we were going for. We wanted to be functional, but we wanted it to be beautiful as well.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so that's Dicey Peaks, and
so you're going to have this out for demo at Gen Con?
Yes, and we should have it for sale as well.
Okay.
Fingers crossed, as long as, it's in production now. We have enough time to get it over here, so unless there's hiccups, which we all know can happen, we very much plan for this to be our Gen Con release.
What is the price point on the game?
This is going to be a $30 game.
Okay.
So $30 for a 2 to 6 player game that plays in less than an hour. It's got the dice themselves are frosted dice that are etched.
Okay.
So when they're on the table, they actually look like little ice cubes. Yes.
Ah, that's really cute.
So, and all of the climber pawns are going to be injection molded plastic climbers, and then the oxygen markers that you move look like little oxygen tanks.
Oh, it's really pretty pieces. I can picture them being really, really pretty.
Yeah. It's we're happy with how it's all come together.
Very cool. Does Calliope have anything else coming down the pipeline?
We do. So, at Gen Con, we will have final copies to demo, not to sell quite yet, but final copies to demo of our next wave of the Titan series. So we did a Kickstarter a while back for 12 titles by famous designers, people like Eric Lang and Mike Elliot and Paul Peterson and Richard Garfield, all these great designers. And so we're releasing 3 a year. Last year we had Running with the Bulls by Paul Peterson, we had Menu Masters by Zach and Jordan Wiseman, and we had Hive Mind by Richard Garfield. So those have been doing really well for us. In fact, we have no Hive Minds left to sell, where the next printing is on its way to us right now.
Congratulations. I'm sorry you're out of stock, but congratulations.
It's a good problem to have. Yeah. So this year, at Gen Con, we'll be demoing 3 new games. One is Ancestree by Eric Lang. That's a tile drafting game where you're building your family tree and trying to have the better family amongst all your neighbors. So you draft and you build and you connect hearts and leaves and build this great family tree. So that's Eric Lang's Ancestry. We also have Shutterbug, which is a game by Mike Elliot. And that's a game where you explore 1930s America looking for these hidden mythological creatures, things like werewolves and unicorns, that there's these rumors they exist, but you're photographers roaming around trying to capture pictures because the tabloids of the day are like, we want a story. We want to show people pictures of these things. So you're out there trying to take pictures, get sets. It's kind of set collection, exploration. You can steal from people. It's a fun little game. And then the third one, that's Shutterbug by Mike Elliot. And then the third one is Capital City by James Ernest from Cheap Ass Games. And that's you build the best Old West in Capital City. You've got all of these different families in the Old West, which are represented by animals. So you've got, coyotes and toads and things like that. So you have to get new people off. First, you bid for player order. So this is a whole stew of mechanics. First, you bid coins to get player order.
Okay.
Then in player order, you get a train of cards, which is you can see the backs of the cards that show the different families. You draft cards off of that, pass it around. So you've got new townsfolk. Then you buy buildings. And then finally, in reverse turn order, you attach people to the buildings.
Okay.
What that does is, if I attach a person to a building, it allows me to get some money or some victory points.
All right.
But every other member of that family, the ones that belong to the same color, so like toads are green, coyotes are red, everyone else you have in your family attached to a building is also going to activate because they're like, hey, our kin just got hired, yeehaw! So now I get earnings from all of my buildings with people of that color, and then you look around the table, every player gets to choose one of their buildings, and someone else from that family gets to activate for others. So when I take a family member and I attach them to a building, I want to activate mine, but I have to be careful
not to activate
that
everybody
I'm not
else.
exactly.
Well.
I don't want to give you lots of points because I activated this person over here. So you're bidding, you're drafting, you're building, and then you're attaching. And that happens over 4 rounds, 4 seasons, spring, summer, fall, and winter. And then when it's over, whoever has the most victory points wins. So you can get a lot of money during the game to buy stuff, but you have to switch over and get victory points at some point. And it's a short game.
You only have 4 rounds with which to use all of them.
Yeah, so every decision is important. It's really, really compact and tight. And we played it yesterday. We had a game of it running here with a prototype copy. And when it was over, we played 5 players, and everyone was like, I can't believe it's over, but it was so cool. I had so many decisions to make, and some of them were like, okay, I didn't get started. I didn't know what I was doing the first round or two, so I want to play again, because now I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to get you. So that's Capital City by James Ernest. So Capital City, Shutterbug, and Ancestree, those ones will all be available at Booth 1901 at Gen Con. We can play those games with folks, and then those will be out this fall.
Very, very cool. Yeah. Where can our audience learn a little bit more about Calliope Games?
We have our website, which is CalliopeGames.com. That's kind of the home base of things. We're on social media at Calliope Games on Twitter, and then also you can search Calliope Games on Facebook. I think Bill has a Friendster account, maybe a MySpace page with lots of flashy animations and things. No? Okay, so stick to CalliopeGames.com. At Calliope Games Twitter, and also Calliope Games on Facebook, and we'll keep those updated with all the latest news and gossip and celebrity doings.
This is great. Is there anything else that you'd like to make sure our audience knows?
No, I don't think so. Calliope Games is all about gateway games. So if you've got family members or friends who don't play a lot of games, and you want to get together and show them something that you'll enjoy playing, but that's not going to break their brain, that's what we're all about. We started with Suro and Roll For It. If you guys have played those types of games, really easy games to teach. Great fillers between heavier games, great games to introduce people to our hobby. So Calliope Games, that's what we're all about. Every game we have is easy to teach, easy to play, and it's supposed to be there for non-gamers and gamers alike.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time today to come and hang out with me and let my audience know what Calliope's got going on. I really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
An absolute pleasure.
Aww.
Wait.
Say goodbye.